Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. The Sulphur Springs Independent School District's bus returning the Lady Cat track team from a meet in Kennedale was involved in an accident on I-635 in Dallas Thursday night. A vehicle was attempting to change lanes on the freeway when it sideswiped the bus. There was minimal damage to the bus, and no one on the bus was injured, according to Rusty Harden, Sulphur Springs Independent School District Assistant Superintendent. After a warning to the public to be aware when using ATM and gas pumps at local convenience stores as well as elsewhere, Sulphur Springs police found 5 skimmers inside the city, and Hopkins County investigators and deputies found 2 skimmers at area convenience stores in the county. The skimmers found Thursday were all inside the gas pumps and undetectable from outside the pump. A scam alert was issued at mid-morning Thursday by Sulphur Springs Police Chief Jay Sanders. Sanders said Sulphur Springs Police and county deputies were examining ATM machines and gas pumps across the city and county. The driver of a Ford Mustang involved in a multi-vehicle accident Thursday afternoon at the 122-mile marker westbound I-30 was to have remained in the local hospital overnight for observation due to her pregnancy, but she was released around midnight after medical staff determined that she was no longer at risk. Her daughter, also in the Mustang at the time of the accident, was also released, according to family. The accident occurred, according to observers at the scene, near the work zone on I-30 where the right lane was closed to traffic. A semi-truck, a Mustang, a pickup, and a box truck were involved, according to information given from those at the scene. The accident created the necessity of alternate routes for many parents picking up their children at the Early Childhood Learning Center and others bound for various locations. Traffic backed up from State Highway 19 to east of the KSST studios, over 2 miles away. Traffic on the interstate and much of the North Service Road moved slowly or not at all until around 5 p.m. When the Sulphur Springs police officer observed the vehicle crossing a private drive to avoid an intersection and speeding, he initiated a traffic stop at the corner of Parkins and Broadway at 8:30 p.m. Thursday night. The driver appeared nervous, and the officer sought consent to search the vehicle. When methamphetamine was found, Misty Michelle Watson, age 43, of Sulphur Springs, was arrested for possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. She's in Hopkins County Jail being held on a $5,000 bond. 5 Sulphur Springs High School theatrical design students competed at the UIL level for the second year. The group as a whole and 1 individual will advance to state competition. Desiree Ferris, theater design instructor at Sulphur Springs High School, says there are 4 different categories for the competition.
We are working on UIL theatrical design. It is a UIL event which is just now this year for the first time available for points for school districts. We are new to this event as a district, as well as the kids and myself. Last year was our first time to submit actual designs for this, so this is only our second year, and we've had our group as a whole and 1 individual designer advance to state. The event's about 8 years old. I think maybe this is its 9th year actually a part of UIL in general. There are 4 different categories. There is set design, costume design, hair and makeup design, and then marketing design. Each of those categories have multiple things that they've got to complete for it to be submissible. They've got to write papers that justify their entire design concept. They make models to scale. They learn ground plans, learning to draw and scale. They have to submit complete makeup and hair designs, as well as application on a face that matches that design, and then they're sketching costumes. They have to choose fabric and swatches and include that as well. All of those things that are justifiable as far as color and texture, material types, makeup colors, all of those things have to be justified. Marketing is multiple parts as well. It's a poster, a program. You have to create and make some sort of a specialty item. This team actually made a necklace this year. It also has to be a promotional tool, so it's something that is you're going to use to drive an audience to you. And then they have to produce a marketing calendar So they've got to take, a certain amount of time. We've used 4 weeks, and they've built in radio spots and online spots and how interviews come in and how they market their show for an entire month. Every year, the state actually gives us the play title that we're required to use and a very specific prompt in which they have to adhere to. So this year's title was Into the Woods. It was kind of ironic. We don't get the title release until the first of the school year. So when we got back in August, we were given title, and we had already auditioned and cast for the fall musical of Into the Woods. So I had already started a design concept as far as what we were going to put up as the high school. So most of these kids are also either, all of them are actually crew but one. So they actually have to build my set and my concept for a show that they now have to completely redesign. And their prompt was that they had to make it appeal to millennials. It had to be millennial driven. So the group chose steampunk because that's a big thing for millennials right now, and as far as their Victorian needs and the things, they've really justified that well. The individual set designer is Belinda Flores, and she designed her set in Hawaii because millennials are known as these adventurists and they like to travel, and so she's tried to make that appeal to them in her set design. So that's what we do. It's a lot of work. We get a semester to work on it. We do not have a class for this, so these are all of my advanced kids, and they're in one period together. However, I have another group of kids that are in the same class, so I kind of separate them, and I work with the designers and UIL, and then I teach, Tech 2 kids or 3 kids something different at the same time.
My name is JC Reed. I'm a junior, and I'm doing costumes for the tech design competition for our team.
What got you interested in this?
Well, this is my first year doing tech theater, and I feel like if you're into the arts, you should probably learn both sides of offstage and onstage and learn kind of the backgrounds of what goes on backstage during the shows. So I thought it would be interesting to join the team, and a lot of my friends are in it. So.
And who are you?
I'm Hunter Vargas. I'm a senior. I do makeup and hair design, and this is my second year.
And what got you interested in this?
I first started out as an art student, and I wanted to do theater for a long time, but I didn't want to do the acting portion. And then I saw that there was a technical theater. So I went ahead and joined that, and then Ferris made it really fun. So I went ahead and joined her team, and I just loved it so much that I wanted to join again.
Who are you?
I'm Juliana Flores, and I'm a senior. I build the set for our design team.
And what got you interested?
I've been in theater since freshman year, and I've just really liked it. And then Ferris came along, and she had technical design, so I joined in it, and it was fun, so I just stayed in it.
And who are you?
I'm Belinda Flores. I'm a sophomore, and I did individual set design for tech.
And what got you interested in this?
Well, I started it out my freshman year because I thought it would be interesting, and it kind of just tagged along with me.
What's your name?
My name is Jackie Rodriguez, and I'm a senior.
And what are you doing?
I am the marketer in the group submission.
And what got you interested in this?
I guess just being with Ferris and having to spend more time with her and actually do more things involving theater.
Okay, so this is an actual makeup sketch. And then this is its application on an actor. And she's justified why all of the feathers and the birds and the color, because that's who Cinderella kind of speaks to, are these birds that help her. So she's included that. And this is another sketch. Everything has to be research-based prior to design. So they've also got to turn in, there's the witch actually applied. She has to be done in 2 pieces. She has a pre-transformation and a post-transformation. And all of their research has to be included as well. To show where they've gotten all their design idea from. This is a set design that's been drawn to scale. Julie draws in 1/4-inch scales. So this is a ground plan. It's a bird's eye view of what she's actually created. They have the option to either then create a 3D model or draw in full 2D color. Julie chooses to create models. She also works in 1/4-inch model scale, so all of her little trees and pieces, this is in 1/4-inch actual scale, and we have the model, we just don't travel with them. She does a lot of sketching as part of her research prior to, so we include that in her inspiration because she likes to draw out scenes and stuff before she actually comes up with her set design. So. Our costumes are currently being put together over there with all of its sketches. Before state, we don't mount any of the work. We just send in digital copies. So what we're doing today is actually mounting them on all of the foam boards because we'll have to put them up in the gallery when we get there. So that's what we spend today doing, any of our last minute critiques and then mounting the actual work for display. So that's, and you'll notice that the makeup designs that are for characters that have costume designs are the exact same designs on all of the faces. We learned last year, we had some anime, maybe more stylized actors as far as our makeup and costumes. We've learned they want it to be as realistic as possible to put on a real actor. So they also are very particular about body shape and size. Not everybody is 100 pounds and thin, so they want you to consider who the character is before you actually put them in a body shape. So.
When is the state competition?
State competition is next week. I'll leave Tuesday and deliver and unload. We have to set up all of the art gallery. And then the kids will come in Thursday. Thursday morning will be actual judging. Friday morning is critiques, and then Friday night will be awards. So.
Where is this?
It's in Round Rock this year. Typically it's in Austin, but they had some scheduling conflicts because we've had to change dates for UIL, so we're in Round Rock this year. She's built all of her stage platforms. Her stage is actually a rotating stage she's created so that it spins for various scenes so that it can just stay set.
At the Sulphur Springs Municipal Airport, the Young Eagles Flight Rally is scheduled for the morning of Saturday, April 15th. Ben Scarborough, who is a member of the local EAA chapter and a pilot, will be joining several other local pilots, giving airplane rides that morning free to youth who are interested in learning to fly.
The Sulphur Springs Sport Aviation Association, also it's the Experimental Aircraft Association in this area, is hosting a Young Eagles Flight Rally on Saturday, April 15. We're going to go from 9 o'clock to noon in the morning if the weather lets us fly, and we're giving free airplane rides to kids ages 8 to 17.
That sounds exciting for a certain segment of youngsters who would like to go up in a plane.
Yeah, and a lot of the parents want to go too, but this is just for the kids. But they need to bring a parent with them because they have to sign a permission form. A parent or guardian has to be there at the time. And the kids are introduced to flight we start with a ground school. Julia Robbins gets kids in a classroom setting and tells them about what makes an airplane fly and safety issues, things like that, like to make sure you wear your seatbelt and all that, and tells them what to expect in the flight. And then they're assigned to a pilot, which escorts them out to the aircraft and sets them up in the plane, shows them what all the bells and whistles are on an aircraft and how it works. And they go fly for 10 to 20 minutes. And then they come back down, and we get a picture made with them with the pilot and the airplane, and they get, we give them an online link to that so they can go check that out. Then they are entered into the world's largest logbook, which is at Oshkosh, Wisconsin, that says they're a member of the Young Eagles, which, by the way, we've given in excess of 2 million rides now, so they're joining a big club. They receive a logbook that the pilot enters the information on, logs them as having their flight, and along with that logbook, they get a free ground school. They can go to a link. All pilots have to go through a ground school and learn all the basics of flight and navigation and everything, and pass a written test before they can fly solo. And this is a free ground school that they can get. I had to pay a lot of money for it years ago. And they can go all the way through and pass the written. And if they pass the test, the host of that Sporty's Pilot Shop provides that opportunity, but they will reimburse them for the cost of the test if they pass.
Wow.
So the next step would be getting in an airplane.
Okay.
If they're old enough, they can go ahead and do that at the same time they're taking their written information.
Well, it sounds fun, exciting, interesting, educational, and I guess I would like to ask, since you're targeting the youngsters and something way off the beaten path for most people, what is the mission for Young Eagles?
Well, you know, kids always dream about flight. Everybody does. But there's no opportunities. You can't just go out to the airport and catch a ride. And you might have some reason to get on a big jet and go somewhere, but that's almost not flying like small aircraft flying is. So we realized that there was a need to provide an opportunity for kids to at least get to experience some form of aviation, an airplane ride. And most of the kids that we take have never been in an aircraft before in their lives. So we set this up to encourage aviation, to encourage people to consider aviation for their future, maybe as a career. We have I know one student, I believe he's from Ridgeway, Matt Stewart, that started out as a Young Eagle, and today he's an airline pilot. He flies with Envoy, based out of, well, I think he's based out of DFW, but from his Facebook postings, he's just all over the place.
Okay. Wow.
We have another gentleman, Morgan Jocelyn, went to high school at North Lamar, started as a Young Eagle, and his grandfather is in in our organization and will be there Saturday helping us. But he is pursuing his aviation career. I'm not sure what his final outcome is going to be, but he's completed his pilot training and he's got his license and can fly. And I think he's aiming for the military. And he got a good background with the Civil Air Patrol here in Sulphur Springs. Got a very active chapter that meets, I believe, on Tuesdays. And so he's providing opportunities for other kids. Now he can give Young Eagle rides.
Wow. Well, I want to ask, when Saturday the 15th comes and a parent and child have talked it over, they are going to go for the plane ride for the youth. Do they go to the airport? Do they go at a certain time? How does it work that morning?
It's sort of come and go. If they come in before 12 o'clock, we'll get them in on a ride. They come in to the main terminal building, and we'll have tables set up for registration where the parents fill out the permission slip. And then they'll be escorted into the classroom where Julia will do what I described before, teach them what makes an airplane work and how to fly and everything. And they get a little sticker on their shirt that says that they've completed that and step out of the classroom, and then there will be other people there who will coordinate getting them with a pilot. Someone like, Kathy Wright, a teacher here in our school system, is in charge of that, and she's also a pilot. She's familiar with the aircraft, and she can see how many kids can go in which aircraft. If you have if you have 3 children that combined weight is a lot, they'll put them in one of the stronger aircraft. If you've got kids that are small and lightweight, we'll put them in a smaller aircraft and that sort of thing.
Okay. And so all the things that they get after they've completed their flight, those are real nice things to keep for a lifetime. And also it might spur an interest maybe to come and do this again next year.
Yeah, for instance, the logbook, they see how pilots make logbook entries, and they can use that logbook. If they begin their flight training, that can be their first logbook. They'll already have one and start with that one.
Here's Don Julian with sports.
Several Wildcats tennis players did pretty well at the district tennis tournament Wednesday and Thursday at Texas High in Texarkana. And we learned more from Wildcats tennis coach Tony Martinez.
Coach Owens and some of the administrators were there. Coach McMeans was there. And they got to see a pretty good doubles, which was a 3-hour ordeal. So we played tough, and we ended up losing that match by 1 point. And you sit there for 1 hour, then you go to a tiebreaker, and it comes down to 1 point, and you drop it. And it's a hard loss, especially for the boys. And I had to do a little protesting, but they put my guys back on in like 3 minutes. They didn't even give them the hour, give them the 30 minutes. So I was a little upset with TI's, director at that point, like, hey, give them 5 minutes, but it was tough on the kids, and they lost the next match to Pine Tree that, I thought sure we should have won, but, they were pretty exhausted. They didn't get to have lunch. They'd skip lunch knowing that they were going to have to play a long match that day.
That was Benitez and Kirkpatrick?
Yes. They played also great. Now, they ended up going into the consolation round, and so, but by doing that, they got to the finals yesterday, and they lost to a real tough team also from Pine Tree, was just, tremendously tough on that point. And they went through about 3 sets on that too, but just not able to manage to pull it off. The Wednesday part was real tough, and it was cool, but the breeze was 30 miles per hour, so the ball was just flying everywhere. But I was real happy with with the results that we saw. I had a girl, Carolina Espinosa, been playing good all season, and she ended her career dropping the finals match in consolation. But, she won some good matches on her way to get there. And she lost to the Mount Pleasant girl, Reagan Davis, 8-5. So, still happy with the results there. My other boys' doubles team also played a heartbreaker match, also like 3 hours on Tuesday against Hallsville. And it came down to 1 point again. And so it was just tough. We did well to get back on Thursday. We played for the finals in the boys and the girls in the consolation. I had one returning a senior, Jesse Allen, who's been tremendous the past 3 years that I've been here, but he also did a great job, getting through the tournament. He had to play for third place, but he had a real tough match in the second go-round against Dakota Ellswick. And it was a 3-hour ordeal also in singles, but we were able to pull it out, in that point. But he lost to the eventual winner, Thiessen from Greenville, who is going to regionals. What we saw this weekend was the fall and decline of T-High's tennis as we've known it for the past. You have Greenville's, you have Hallsville. They're all representing the district at the regionals. T-High may have gotten 2 entries in there, so next year you may not even see a T-High there. It's getting where all the other teams are getting stronger and better, and that's, and we're more equally the same. So through the years it's always been, the T-High, this time it's changed over the last few weeks, so this past year. So we're looking forward to next year already, thinking they're graduating too many guys at T-High, so we have a chance. Everybody has a chance against that team.
Yeah, you're losing those good singles players and boys and girls, but most of your 2 top doubles teams will be returning. I think Stout's a senior, I believe.
Stout was the only one I do lose, but I do have the 3 guys that I've been working as the main cog for the doubles. And for next year, I'll probably have I have a Chase Crouch who's been waiting in the wings as a sophomore. So I'll have nearly all juniors next year playing in that, and the only older one I have out of the elder will be Alex Benitez, the senior. But other than that, Jonah Kirkpatrick will just be a sophomore next year, and he's already experienced what it takes to get to the finals or the semifinals of the district tournament. So looking forward here, to the future.
And Fleming's, how's he?
Doing great. He's also one of the top players. I mean, they're going to it's going to be tough, and we're already knocking it out in May. I told them we're going to start doing our challenge matches to see who's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it could be Benitez, it could be Flemings, it could be Crouch, it could be Gatewood. I've got 4 to 5 guys, and I really have a real super team returning next year with 6 to 7 returning guys. So that's the beauty of it for next year, that they're all young and they've been competing throughout the year. The girls, I've had like 2 or 3 girls who are still been competing in the JV level, but they're going to get us where we need to be.
The Wildcats track team had one final tune-up at a Kennedale meet Thursday evening before the district meet next week. We get details from Wildcats track coach Matt Young.
It's a competitive meet, and we scaled back a lot. Guys that have 4 races ran, or 4 events did 2. I don't think we had anybody do more than 2 things. I'd say that maybe one person did 3. But it was really just a chance to get a last tune-up, good competition. Especially after last week running against Paris in just a dual meet, it was kind of good to get it amped back up. And I thought they responded well. We moved a few JV kids up to get them one more run. Actually discovered a young man, Ricardo Torres, got 6th, I believe, in the quarter, but ran a 51.9. Outstanding time. So kind of a nice find there with him. Field event-wise, Ian Blanche threw in the 43s again, setting himself up for district. I believe he placed 5th or 6th. But really pleased with how he's throwing and got himself in good position. Josh Thompson took 2nd, threw in the 140s again. DJ Hall didn't place, but threw 119, which in our district can get him in the mix. So really pleased with how both those guys are doing. Damian Dugan, triple jump for us, didn't do quite as well as he'd been doing, jumped in the 38s. But it was just good to see him get that last jump and be ready to rock. Running wise, our sprint relay got the stick around, ran sub 45, which was our goal. Next week our goal will be to go sub 44. So we're making progress with those guys, finally getting a little continuity. These guys now have ran 2 weeks in a row together, so that's like a celebration. And it ought to pay off as we get next week's meet. Other running events, we didn't run our 2 milers. We were trying to back off them going into it. But in the mile, Peyton Vickery went 4:47, I believe. Landon Thornton was in the 4:50s, and Ed was just barely over 5. All 3 of those guys were in the top 10 of their race. So pleased with them with their last tune-up, the way they've been running. Hurdle-wise in the 110s, Callum Wade had a good run last week, followed up again this week with a top 3 finish. Finished 3rd. Terrell Turman was right on his tail, both of them in the mid-16s. And Landry Tyson took a 6, so 3rd, 4th, and 6th. Had a big meet with those guys. 100-meter dash, Ryan Humphreys took a 4th. Ran against probably some of the best competition he's faced and was able to hold his own and stay relaxed in the run. So that little collective group, really excited what they go do next week. They've been scoring all year long for us. And then the 300 hurdles, Mason Buck continues to have a great run this spring, ran a 41.1, and we look for him to place next week. So my 4x2 ran, got to stick around, dropped their time another 2nd. We're hoping to score with those guys, get in the top 6 in district. Our district's really tough. It takes some top-notch times to place. And then our mile relay starting to come together. Really interested to see what they do next week in the heat of the battle. We had some splits coming down, getting in those times we want to be. So we're prime and ready. We got a couple of nagging injuries, maybe a couple of guys that have had a good season, might not get to compete. We're going to see how they come out of the weekend. And you kind of feel for those kids. They put in a lot of time. But we got an Army ready. We'll take close to 50 guys down there between our varsity and JV and go compete and represent Sulphur Springs and finish up our regular season.
Well, realistically, what do you expect out of district?
Varsity-wise, goal-wise, if we score over 50, that would be good. A couple of those injuries kind of took away probably what I was thinking, between 20 and 30 points. My goal a couple of weeks ago was 80. They were significant if they're not there. But over 50 would be a good accomplishment. Really looking to get, field event-wise, hope to get 1 or 2 throwers out. That would be great there. Distance guys, really like to get 1 or 2 of those guys to the area. To advanced area, you got to finish in the top 4. Running wise, really looking to get some hurdlers out, plural. I think those guys will be in the top 4. And then I think Humphreys has a chance in the 100. So that's kind of where I feel like we're at. And that doesn't say that it won't be better, but these guys are all going to have to go perform in Pine Tree.
Who's tough in district?
Pine Tree's won it last year. They got a lot of kids back. They got an outstanding middle distance runner. Has been to state, I believe, the last 2 years, if not 3. So they're kind of the front runners coming back. And it's funny to say that way. You got a T-high sitting there that's always loaded. They just reload and come out. Hallsville does a tremendous job with their field events and their hurdles. Some of the things that we take pride in, where we find our points, well, they do as well. And so we'll be going toe to toe with them, battling for points. And then there's always Marshall, who's always has incredible speed, does a great job putting relays together. And then Mount Pleasant does a great job in the throws. So when you kind of look at our district, you kind of tell with us, okay, hurdles is a strength for us, and Mount Pleasant's a strength in the throws, and T-high in the sprints, and Pine Tree in the middle distance. Everybody kind of has a niche, and then you're just fighting for everything else you can get a hold of. I mean, it's a tremendous district in pole vault. There's nothing that comes easy there. And jumping wise, you're going to have to go 41 plus to place in triple. And long, you just never know who hits it that day, who has the 20 plus to make it happen. So it's always an exciting day. It's the best of the best, and they get to go see what they're made of.
The Lady Cats track team, consisting of only about 18 athletes, finished second at a Kennedale meet Thursday. After the meet, the bus for the Lady Cats track team was struck by a vehicle. Luckily, there were no injuries. We get details on the bus accident and the track meet from Lady Cats track coach Tristan Abram.
Coming down 635, headed back north, coming home from Kennedale last night. There was a vehicle that was actually, the boys' bus was in front of us, which was the girls' bus, and I think the car was trying to get in between us because he wanted to exit possibly, but ended up slowing down to approximately 30 miles an hour. Uh-huh. And you can't do that on that road, obviously, considering it's somewhat of a highway. And there was a car behind it coming pretty quick, and that car hit its brakes. Instead of swerving left, in which I don't know if there was another vehicle over there, they swerved to the right and clipped the back end of the bus, the back bumper. I mean, it's a blessing just as far as timing goes, because if it would have been just a little bit sooner, they possibly would have hit our back tire, which, I mean, could have really done some major damage, but they just caught the back end of the bumper and kind of pulled it away from the bus a little bit and ended up spinning, and no more harm was done to us. But it's one of those hiccups that no one we saw it coming. Mm-hmm. And there weren't very many girls on the bus whenever it occurred, and the girls that were on the bus, they did a great job of remaining calm. As a matter of fact, I was sitting at the very front of the bus, and I didn't even know that we had even been hit. And I heard them saying, "Coach, the car behind us just hit us." So it's really fortunate that there were no injuries, and again, I just want to commend those young ladies that were on the bus. They remained calm. And let us try to do the best we could to assess the situation, and Coach Wells did a great job as well. She was driving the bus. She did a great job of remaining calm and getting us off the road and allowing the EMS and police department to get there to give our report of what happened.
All right, thanks for that update. Now there was a last chance before district track meet for Lady Cats, and how did those young ladies do?
Well, we did a very good job. It's crazy as it sounds, because we took a total of I think I had a total of 18 young ladies to go, and I may be off a body or two, but we ended up placing second overall. We didn't have people in every event. But we ended up placing second overall. Kennedale won the meet with a total of 112 points, and we had 104 and a half. So with that being said, if you know anything about track and the point system, then we did really well, placing 1 through 6. But it was really one of those meets that we Coach Young and I had discussed, and we want to get something in right before the district meet. So that our kids could compete and we could polish up on anything that we felt necessary to try to get better at as a last ditch effort, just for lack of better words. But it turned out to be really good for the Lady Cats. The the 4x1. I'll start there with the 4x1, which consists of Amani Taylor, Abby Bear, Nasai Dugan, and Sadavia Porter. They actually broke the school record last night in that event. The previous school record was 48.40 seconds, and they ran a 48.14 last night. So they did a great job. And with that being said, I felt like there was a bad handoff that kind of during the race kind of upset me. But then, when I see the results, it's like, okay, that just tells me that we can run that much faster if we fix that handoff. And my statement to them was, we have district coming up. Our objective is to get the baton around the track, okay, and be in the top 4. Let's not drop the stick. Let's get it around the track. Let's be in the top 4 so that we can go on to the area meet, and then let's see if we can get the regionals, and who knows what happens after that. But then moving on with the meet, in the 100, Nasai Dugan placed first in that event. She hedged out a young lady from Kennedale that was extremely fast, but she beat her by Nasai ran 12.59 second 100, and she ran a 12.58, and the other young lady ran a 12.59. And then Sadavia Porter, she, again, tough competition, but she did a great job in placing. I believe she got 6th overall in that event, and she ran a 12 second 100. So it's pretty fast. It's a pretty fast meet. And in the 100 hurdles, Faith Hatley did a great job again. She's still overcoming an injury, but did a great job in that. She placed 6th, and Abby Bear placed 1st in that event. And in our 4x200 meter relay, actually another school record was broken with it. Previous school record was 1 minute 46 seconds. They ran 1 minute 44 seconds. And again, I felt like that was another not so great relay, but obviously it was good enough to break a record that we had. But those young ladies did a great job in that, in competing. I believe we got 3rd in that one actually overall. And in the 300 hurdles, Abby Bear once again won that event. She did a great job in it. Faith kind of tweaked her ankle again a little bit in that one, so she didn't place, but she did finish the race, which is it's great, to have kids that are that competitive and will go finish the race and do it the right way. That's just great. That's great to have on your team, and the kids with that type of attitude, they'll carry you on. And so that's pretty much, the logistics of the running. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's not. Sydney Washburn. She PR'd last night in the mile. She ran 5:48, I believe, and I could be wrong with that, but it was her best time that she's ever run. As a matter of fact, she came and told me by 11 seconds it was her best time that she's ever run, which is really good for her. Again, freshman that we're expecting some really great things from. And in the 400, the open quarter, Sharita Hill placed 2nd. She ran a 62-second open quarter, so that was really good for Sharita as well. And in field events, Amani Taylor jumped her best jump of the season in long jump. We didn't have anyone triple jump, but Amani jumped her best jump of the season in long jump. She jumped 18 feet 5 inches, which is pretty good. She won that event, followed by a young lady from Kennedale who jumped 18.3. And then Nasai was right there close to him with a high 16. So, I'm pleased with those 2 young ladies and what they accomplished. And in discus, Abby Beggs did a great job. She placed in the top 6, as well as a young lady, Danielle Gottbolt. This is her first year to throw discus, and we took her. She's actually been throwing JV, but took her this week, and she actually placed in the top 6. So I was really pleased with Danielle and what she's progressed to this year. I really think she's gonna be pretty good for us in the future. So all in all, I think we did a great job last night, raking in the points that we could. Again, with with limited teams. We didn't run a 4x4. So doing the math in that, if we run a 4x4, that's double the points. If as long as we even get the stick across the finish line in the top 6, and that could have helped add more points to possibly win the meet. But with the young ladies that were there, they did a great job of performing and competing with stiff competition, and I'm really excited to think about what could possibly happen next week in the district meet. We can't leave it all in Kennedale. We got to carry it to Longview with us next week. So we'll try to do that and see what happens.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.